Welcome to QMobile. QMobile is an SMS virtual queue management system designed to increase customer satisfaction through improved customer flow. QMobile achieves this by reducing or eliminating physical waiting lines by creating virtual waiting lines using SMS technology or text messaging. QMobile is a web-hosted solution which requires no special equipment or software, just a broadband connection and a web browser. Today, I'd like to show you how easy it is to use QMobile Queue Manager interface. Once you receive your credentials, you'll log into QMobile. And in QMobile, you'll be able to set up either a single queue or multiple queues. QMobile is designed in a way where it's simple to set up multiple queues and manage multiple queues without a lot of clutter or congestion on the page. Depending on your organization customer flow process, you can custom design or set up QMobile to fit your unique needs. In this case, we'll be using the example of a college or university. And in this case, we'll be using a one-stop student-centered approach. In this case, staff or associates will screen students and determine which queue or department those students need to see, and then assign them to that particular department. Those departments, in this case admissions, financial aid, and records, will also be logged into the same account in QMobile, where they'll be able to interact and process the students. So for example, I'll add myself to the queue. I can add a unique student ID if I choose, or not, my phone number, including area code, a memo field, which tends to be very important to provide information to the different departments upon interviewing the student, and then choose which department the student needs to go to. In this case, we'll click Records. The student is then entered into Records, Brandon Munson, and at that time the student's also getting what we call an opt-in message, confirmation message. And the student will get a message that will say, you are now entered into the records queue. You are now third in the records queue. You will receive a text message when it's your turn. Reply T for more time, S for status, or L to leave the queue. And these are interactive commands. The students can interact with the queue by texting T, which would give them more time, which would essentially bounce them back 4 places in the queue. L, which means leave the queue, which would pull them out of the queue and send them a confirmation text message stating that they've been removed from the queue. Or S, status, which will tell the student what their status is at any given time, which enables the students or customers to be able to check on what position they are in the queue. So as you can see, I'm third in the queue, and Edward Marks is first, and Kevin is second. Now, in this case, how we serve a student is we click Serve, and we click Serve. A message is sent to the student, which would be saying, you can customize the message. Please make your way to the records office. You're being served now, for example. Now, if the student doesn't respond, you can click Serve again, and it will send another text message. Once the student responds, and the records department is through serving the student, they can do one of two things. They can either click Served, which will remove the student from the queue and also record in your customer seen report that the student has been seen. Or you can move the student to another queue. So if we're done in records and the student is ready to go to financial aid, we can then click financial aid and Edward Marks will be moved to financial aid. And that is a very efficient process to keep student flow moving and also to keep the flow in process for your staff underway. Now in this case, if I enter another student into the queue, we can then add them to admissions. And what we'll see here is Roger Williams is added to admissions, and we have the ability to move them from one queue to the other. We also have this move back feature, and we have the average wait time the student's been waiting, the time they were entered into the queue, and then also the memo field. If you click on the name, there's also more information about the student. So there's the notes, and these notes can be revised. So as we move student from one department to the other, we can pass essentially these notes on to the other department. In this case, I'll show you the move back feature. So for example, if we serve Fran, and Fran's not responding, we can either delete him from the queue, or we can move Fran back in the queue to buy Fran more time. And then we can move forward to serve Martha if we choose to serve students sequentially. You don't have to, you can serve a student or a customer in any position you want within the queue. But it's a feature that many organizations find handy. The student can also reply T, and if they reply T, they're going to be moved back up to 4 places in the queue, which enables them to buy some more time as well. When we serve the student, if we have text messaging capabilities, in other words, we have the student's cell phone number, like we do here, we click serve, and you'll see a timestamp of when the last message was sent and how many times we tried to serve the student. And once we serve the student, we click served, and that will remove the student from the queue, and they'll be recorded as having seen. Up here we have our reports, our customer list, which will give us all the customers or students who've been entered into the queue system, whether they've been seen or not or left the queue. Our customer seen queue, our customer seen report, which will show us all the customers that actually have been seen, in other words, served through the queue, and then our customer left report. These are any customers that have been not seen. In other words, they either replied L and left the queue or didn't show up and staff had to click the X. And then our customers in queue report will show all the customers in queue. We have an average wait time report, and then also a customer transfer report, which will actually give us an idea of how many students were transferred from one queue to another, and that might be helpful in determining process and workflow. So I'll give you an example of a report. So if I click on customer seen, I pick a date range, and we'll say today. And click show report. And here what you'll see is we had 2 customers in record that were seen, 2 customers in financial aid, and 4 customers in admission. And you can also export to Excel for further analysis. And this way you can slice and dice in Excel or sort the information. Over here we have our kiosk. So if you want to use a self-serve kiosk, you would essentially point the kiosk, and this is set up for an iPad, and students can enter themselves into the queue. So it's a handy feature. And then we also have a digital display, which I will show you. And our digital display can be pointed to any monitor, smart TV, big screen TV. That can be posted in the Student Center or in a customer area. And this is good for students or customers who may not have a cell phone, or even those who do. And it will be by queue, show the number of people in the queue and the first 5 people in the queue. Also have the capability to post advertising or announcements. It also has a crawler. And that was the Queue Manager tutorial. Any questions? Please don't hesitate to contact me. Thank you.